What's up, people? We got a very special edition of ISO Boom for you. We got a special guest in the house.
Yes.
First of all, I am LR Blitzkrieg,
I am the Marks.
and we finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
We did.
right?
We did. It's been a
So
fun
now we're
season.
gonna move on to something else, and I have a friend that actually he introduced me to this show before
Right.
it was a show, and it's a very good friend of mine, one of my brothers in my crew, The Plague. Known this guy for decades. Super dope MC,
Very dope.
singer, producer, designer. He's a man of many
Many hats.
yes, lots of hats, and they're all blue. We'd like to welcome my man, Tone Deaf.
Hey,
up,
what's
man?
good, people? How's everybody doing? Happy to be here. Nice to see y'all. We are in communion together today. It is awesome.
Yes, thanks for coming through, man.
No doubt. Thanks for the invite.
So, I mean, we could talk about, super nerd shit all day, right? But the thing that we brought you here for is
Yeah.
Invincible. And the
He's ready.
season finale. Ah, look at that. The season finale was the other night, on Friday night, and completely blew my mind. But the first thing I want to know is what you thought of the season overall.
I thought it was super dope. Like, having read, the books, it was interesting to me how Kirkman and company, Robert Kirkman, the writer of the book, who also coincidentally is the writer of The Walking Dead. So if anybody's a fan of that, you probably would enjoy this as well. Also explains why it's so damn bloody.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I thought it was dope how they condensed a lot of shit from the books into the earlier episodes of this season. So like if you go back to the books, I was peeking through before we got on this, they were consolidating a lot of the storylines from like book 5, book 6 into like episode 4, episode 3,
Yeah,
right.
and it's like it's almost like the experience of writing a TV show on The Walking Dead influenced how the screenplay worked for Invincible, like condensing a lot of things and like cutting out the fat and just getting to the story as quickly as possible in Invincible is like the lesson you learn from Walking Dead. So it was really impressive to me. Secondarily, what also was dope to me was like, having read the books, I was still like, oh shit, like I was still surprised. I was still like engaged.
That's hard to do.
And I think that there's something to be said for like seeing something be bloody in the book, but when you see it in motion and with the sound effects, it just adds like a gut punch level of like a visceralness to it that it just didn't have when you read it.
Even in animated form, like it's animated and it still feels like, oh my gosh, like y'all took it that far.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, I don't know, is this a spoiler podcast? Are we doing spoilers here?
I mean, it's the season has finished, and if you haven't seen it, shame on you. Pause it, go watch it, come back. But yeah, we're spoiling everything.
We're definitely spoiling.
Yeah, just like little touches of like, Omni-Man, splitting the Immortal in half with a dual karate chop.
Right. You can see like his wrist form, like it was
Blood on the leaves.
Yeah, that was nuts, man.
It just
Nuts.
the entire slaughter of the Guardians of the Globe at the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
It was like literally the best post-credit scene ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing's been amazing.
Yeah. No, it's good to see as a fan, the source material, but you're still not almost offended that they're rolling through, these major plot points. I think that's very impressive to the show. I've seen Robert Kirkman actually say recently that he did it. He made a few changes because he feels that he's a better writer now. He did that in his 20s, and now he's just more evolved. Of the character changes, are there any major character changes that you liked? That you were like, I like this character change. Anything that kind of stood out to you?
I think two things mainly. I think they made Debbie a lot more interesting. The mom,
The mom.
Yeah.
they made the mom a lot more interesting because in the book she has some moments, but like they got Sandra Oh, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you got to do something with Sandra Oh. You can't just like be writing some fucking bit parts and throwing her in there. Like they're giving her more to work with, I think, and like it's really coming across in the screenplay. Also, I love that they made Amber Black on the TV show.
Yeah.
Because Amber in the books is white. She's just like the most generic
blonde,
girlfriend ever,
Right.
And I think that they're giving her a lot.
Zazie Beats.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's really interesting, and I hope that they like expand that more because, I don't know if we're gonna give away spoilers for like what's to come between like Adam and Mark.
No,
Adam, Eve, and Mark.
You know
all right.
what? I feel like there's certain things that I want to talk to you about because we know them, and I'll just bleep it out, and they'll just see our reactions, and that'll just make them more excited for seasons 2 and 3 that they already announced are going to be in production. They've been greenlit, but the wildest thing I remember being at your house one day, and you weren't caught up on what was happening, and I was like, dude, have you looked at Invincible? He's like, nah, I haven't seen what's happening. I was like, yo, he and you were like, what?
Yo, this like people don't understand how fucking dark this book is because it looks so corny. Like the point, like it's supposed to be hyper colored, like like crazy fluorescent, and it's a mockery of like the traditional superhero genre. Whereas like a lot of people, like you get some stuff like Alan Moore books where like it's intentionally dark. Frank Miller intentionally dark. Like the thing about Invincible that makes it so fucking compelling is that it's a subversion of the cornballness of like a typical DC book or a typical tights superhero book. They're taking these ridiculous characters that are purposely ridiculous, that are straight up parodies, and they are just fucking obliterating them with reality. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's the real subversion of it all that makes it like so fun.
Me and Mark were just talking about how because my wife loves Doom Patrol. And do you watch Doom Patrol?
No, sir.
Okay. Well,
the disappointment in your voice right now, bro. All right,
you should check it out. It's on HBO Max now. But Doom Patrol has the same feel of being able to be like super dark but super campy at the same, like make fun of itself at the same time. I just it made me think of that in what you said.
Well, a lot of the live action parallels with Invincible is right there with The Boys, there on Amazon Prime,
on the same network.
Where you're able to see this colorful, just this metaphor for everything that we have grown up with in the comic book world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bliss.
I was going to ask you. Invincible started before Walking Dead. I was wondering which one you got into first.
I got into Walking Dead first, and then after literally every issue would come out, and I would be like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I probably need to read some more Robert Kirkman shit." So then I got into his other books. So I basically have everything up until about maybe 8 years ago. I have all the different series that Kirkman's worked on. And because he has a lot of little short run books for like different characters that he's fucked with over the years. Battle Pope for the win. So y'all don't know about Battle Pope. So he's definitely like he has a style, and he definitely has a way of subverting your expectations and literally making you drop your jaw at the end of every fucking issue. And I don't know how he does it, but he's really good at sucker punching you. Really good at it. And I think like it really is. And like to write a horror book like The Walking Dead and to have it so grounded in reality, and then like apply that same sort of method of writing to like a campy superhero book.
I'm sorry, my dog just walked in. You guys continue. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
When I saw the door open, I was like, it's either Lola or Jameson just crawling.
One of the two.
Yeah. No, I mean, The Walking Dead is a television hit, because of his style, because of the cliffhanger style. So to have that, I mean,
I gotta be honest. I never watched the show. Do you feel like? Sorry, why are you looking at me like
Wait,
that?
are you serious?
Yeah, I never watched Walking Dead.
For real?
I think I saw where Chris from Everybody Hates Chris gets killed, and I was like, he deserves to get killed. But that's all I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. Like for real,
that's classic. It's one of the best shows.
You know
it's
what?
worth a watch. It gets a little repetitive towards like the later seasons, like the last
Yeah.
3 seasons, but
Yeah.
it's definitely worth a watch.
I've never been into zombies for zombies' sake. Like I just never been into it. But knowing Kirkman, quite possibly, if I go back and watch it, I'll like it.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with Walking Dead. To me, they subverted the whole zombie genre. They flipped the genre on its head.
Yeah.
Because after only a couple seasons, you realize the zombies ain't even a big deal anymore.
It's really not even about the zombies. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it starts out like that, but eventually you realize the people are the worst part. You know
All
what
right, guys, you got me. I'll watch it. Let's talk more about it. Vincent. What was your favorite episode of the season?
Yes, good question.
Oh man. Shit, they were all great. No,
Good question.
it's like the lamest fucking answer ever. Jesus, man. And now I got to think because I binged it all so quick. Like it's all a blur. Which was which?
I gotta say, for me, it's either the first or the last. Like those 2 episodes were the most shocking, had the most going on, that made me. There were a couple episodes that when we'd have discussions about them, he'd say, "Oh, so this happened here," and I'd be like, I forgot that. It was great, but I just forgot about it, and I remember everything from episode 1 and the last episode, obviously, but there are a couple episodes in there where it gets kind of gray.
Well, the episode where like the Guardians of the Globe and Mark, they end up going in to fight I think it's Metalhead, and it turned they do the twist with Titan.
Battle Beast.
And Battle Beast shows up. You know what I'm saying?
Machine Head, not Metal Head.
Machine Head.
Yeah.
So like Battle Beast in the context of the book is just such a badass character. And I loved that they introduced him and that they made it really evident that Yuki is just like unfuckwittable.
Yeah,
like,
you can't.
period. And so like and that's another thing. Like they set up so many things in that one episode that are gonna pay off in the later seasons that I thought that it was really interesting. And they also set up the fact that like Mark leveling up is such like a key component of like the books. And like you realize that even though he's a Viltrumite and he's like hella strong and he's hyper fucking like what's the word I'm looking for? He has a lot of like confidence in his abilities. You realize that like there's levels to this shit, and like he's definitely not on Battle Beast level. Like he almost dies, and so there was just a lot of fun stuff that they set up there, especially with like Black Samson. They set up stuff with Isotope and Titan for later. Like there's just like a lot of things that got
They showed Duplicate's brother like a minute there. You saw him, right? He was in the jail. Multiple. They showed him.
I missed that. I totally missed
the clone twins break out of prison in that episode, which is a dope sequence. That's another dope sequence.
The Moeller twins, they're called, right? Yeah. I didn't think when they did the college episode, right, and they had the the zombie guys.
Oh, the Reanimen.
Yes, I thought that they were going to leave that alone for the rest of this season, and it was interesting to see them bring it back so quickly.
Yeah. Well, those things are like that was a great way, and that was another example of how the Kirkman writing it brought that in from later in the books.
Yeah.
To bring it forth and like to surprise people, because like those fucking Reanimen are hella strong. Like
hell yeah.
They're almost Viltrumite strong, like just crazy strong.
Right.
And like they're and again there's like he's setting up these like power levels in the universe really early on in the show so that they're gonna pay off later. It's like hella Dragon Ball Z right now.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to, when season 2 starts, if they're going to like kind of pick up right where they left off, or are we going to be like 10 years in the future, or 20 years in the future? He could do anything.
Yeah. Well, in the books, it's all sequential. There's no big time jumps for the most part. So I'm expecting it's just going to be like another day, and then, if any indication, like as quickly as this show is, if there's any indication, so far of him jamming all these different graphic novels, like 5 through 6 already in this first year, in the first season, I'm expecting like like books 7 through 12 to be in season 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, and those books introduce like major characters, like people that are in it to the end,
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'd be surprised if they did any sort of time jump.
Did you see Conquest? They showed him. They showed Conquest.
Was this the montage at the end?
Yes. Well, no. When his dad was talking about Viltrumite Society.
Oh, right.
They showed Conquest.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah. No, it's about to get so like ridiculous, and I can't wait. And you know what the sad thing is like, I feel like people aren't watching the show. I feel like it has just enough interest that they're going to renew it, obviously. And they're like, I mean, just from like a talent buying perspective, just the voice actors budget must be insane, because like the voices are fucking nuts on this show. Every character that comes out, I'm like, wait, I know who that is. Like instantly recognize.
Every A-list actor gets like more than $10 million every time they step out the door.
Yeah,
and they're on this, this animated series. I can't call it a cartoon. It's not that. At
this point, and that's definitely got to be like Seth Rogen, like pulling all the Hollywood weight. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that all that A-class talent is coming in the door.
He got the purse.
So Seth has the rights to the live action version, right?
Wait, does he? Are they still doing that?
Yes.
I'm a little bit out of the loop here. They're still doing the live action version?
Yes, they're still doing it.
Well, why? This is so good.
The funny thing is, during this entire season, you haven't heard much talk about the live action project.
So
they don't have to do that anytime soon.
I heard Kirkman on another show. He said that they're definitely still doing that. He also said that he really loves video games, so we might see and he also loves fighting video games, so we might see an Invincible fighting game in the future.
Yes.
I would love that.
I mean, this whole property is perfect for that shit.
Yeah.
Like perfect. Like that's exciting. But with the live action version, I'm trying to think of it, and like I just don't see. I feel like the animated version is just gonna be so much better. Like it already is so dope. Like they don't need
it's gonna be hard to top it.
Yeah, like, and it's definitely not gonna be as gory. It's definitely not going to have all the fucking profanity and all like the hard topics and shit that the show.
I mean, again, look at The Boys. If you ramp that up just a little bit and put it in the movies,
the thing with The Boys though, is The Boys, it doesn't have the level of like alien special effects. It doesn't have like alien characters like that. It's really superpowers and particle effects. Like they're not doing full on like Kraken aliens and the Flaxons and all that shit. Like
right, but I think the gore is there, right? The amount of blood and stuff. So I could see if they do a live action movie, I can't see Kirkman like signing off on it unless it's like it really in tune with his initial vision.
Listen, it's not like they're not on. It's not like Amazon isn't the bank, right? I mean, Invincible, and I'm new to it, like so. I'm for once talking about a nerdy topic that I'm not entirely privy to. But from what I noticed about it, you can't have the Invincible story without these invasions happening every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like these
it's like
Avengers
a trope.
Endgame level invasions happening every other Thursday.
Yeah,
that's expensive, but I mean, it'll be a crazy.
You talk about him being the bank. I mean, Kirkman's the bank at this point in time. He's got more money than anybody besides Bezos. It's like Bezos and Kirkman. He's got so much money.
Yeah. Like in the comic book world, he's definitely a multimillionaire, easy.
Yeah, and I just saw him talking about like when he first came up with these two books, The Walking Dead and Invincible. he's 23 years old. He was about to lose his house. He was broke, so he came out with both books like basically at the same time because he needed something to catch on, or else
And those
he was
two
going to be in the
projects?
streets. Yeah,
Gold.
yeah.
Bam, bam.
Ladies and gentlemen,
goddamn.
pressure, makes
Creates
diamonds.
That's a dope story.
Yeah, man.
So I got these two last things, Walking Dead and Vincent. And look at the time gap. Walking Dead dropped in what, mid 2000s?
Yeah, I think it
Was the
was.
show?
The show,
Yeah,
the adaptation. I mean, like the payoff. We
Yeah,
started
yeah.
really getting them
Right,
checks.
Yeah,
And
and
then
that took a while to ramp up too. The thing with The Walking Dead in general, I mean, is such a massive fan of that book as well. Like when they did the live action adaptation, it was Frank Darabont producing and directing the first season essentially, and so the first two episodes are basically like a Frank Darabont movie. So if you're familiar with Frank Darabont, he did Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. So like, and he had like a deep respect for the book to the point of like, to the show's own injury, it was hella slow because there's issues of the comic book that are literally like 5 or 6 books in a row. You're like, motherfuckers just talking. There's no action. Nothing happens for 6 issues, bro. And then like the next thing you know, everybody dies. Like it's just like fucking, it's the Red Wedding. Like every fucking every 8 issues. And so like he approached the TV show on that like the slow approach, and then TV's just different than comics, and it just, a lot of people were complaining, and then like they had a falling out, they brought in a different director, and the shit just went crazy, and everything became Headshot City every episode. Pop, 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 we're just shooting everybody in the head, and then that's my main hang up with the fucking TV show. It's like it's video gamey at this point. You know what I mean? And so
I agree.
Yeah, but the show itself, like the Walking Dead book, is so good, and the TV show is so good. I just don't see how they do the Invincible story justice better than this animated version that they're doing right now. It's
you
already
can do
in
so
practice.
much more with the animated than I could possibly see you doing with the live action.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is a level of like adult animation we haven't seen in America. Like we just, there's Japanese shit like this that's hella dark and fucked up and violent and sexual and apocalyptic, but like we haven't seen anything made for an American audience that's this fucked up, and I think that's great.
So you were just talking about The Walking Dead. How did you feel about how the comic series ended?
I actually haven't read it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I fell off the wagon, man. It was around the time period when they started doing variants for like every single issue, because I was collecting all of them. I have issues number 7 through like damn near, the probably I missed like the last 3 or 4 years of it. But I have all the single issues of it.
I mean, between Invincible and Walking Dead, you're probably sitting on a pretty penny.
Seriously.
Because I know how you keep your books. I've been to your house. I've seen the wall of like
Yeah, I mean, I got a little out of hand with it. My ex-wife can attest now that she's my but I got a little out of hand with the collecting. But yeah, no, I mean, I hope so. I hope in due time, especially once Invincible blows up, man. I'm about to cash in. But for now, I'm hodling.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's definitely gonna blow up.
But I didn't manage to catch the end of the series. So I'm assuming that it ended as a dream, and then it was all a dream.
I don't know anything about that. I just knew that there was a big deal because he didn't tell anybody that the series was ending. Yeah, and he was like, oh, that's it, and that it just happened just like that. There was no big like lead up to like
Good for him.
In 4 episodes, it ends. He's like, nah, I'm not telling anybody. I'm just going to end it.
That is literally the best way to end something.
Yeah.
Literally.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, bro. Because the entire premise of the book was like, okay, the entire premise of the book is what happens after the zombie movie ends. Mm-hmm. What happens after that? It was just never supposed to end. It was just supposed to go on and go on and go on and go on and go on. And so, like, if you're going to end it, and you're going to stick the landing, like, don't tell anybody you're taking a jump.
Yeah.
It's like no pressure. There was no Sopranos cut to black. He ended it the way he wanted, right? So now I'm actually more excited to read the fucking ending. That's great.
And that's the thing with the show. It should have ended 3 or 4 seasons ago, but there's no. It's a loop. It's a never-ending loop, and they're cranking out money. So hey.
Yeah.
Quick. So, what else are you watching these days in terms of the nerd shit that our audience would care about?
Tell us, Tom, please.
I'm all caught up on all the MCU stuff. We were talking about this earlier. I watched WandaVision, watched Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Let's get back to that. What did you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I thought it started beautifully. I was actually really, really excited for how it started because they were using like a lot of like, shallow focus and just like stuff that spy movies do, so that's like hella arty. And then there were moments where it just became a little bit cartoony, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. People just popping up out of nowhere. I thought that I thought that Sharon Carter's character was just like hella fucking like just washed. And like it just felt so put on,
she honestly didn't need to be there, but I knew she was the power broker all along.
Yeah, bro, like it was mad obvious the entire time. It's like,
wasn't it so obvious that it was annoying that you were mad that it was her?
Yeah, bro.
Thank you. Like, that was my thing.
Yeah, because like it's like how she got all this security. Okay, I'm an art broker. It's like, bitch, ain't no art broker got that much security. Like you're just walking in and out of like these like heavily guarded buildings. It's like you are clearly the mastermind here. And also, they really made a Karen the power broker. Really?
They did.
Really, bro?
That was definitely my least favorite part about it. But.
Like the whole show is like this whole like transference of power and like the struggle in America and like being a black man, becoming Captain America. And what do? They made the ultimate villain a white woman.
I mean, I feel like her character was somewhat of an afterthought. Like she didn't need to be there to progress the story. Yeah. Just as easily, everything that she did, they could have had Zemo do in the background and save time for something else that was fun or exciting or even just like drove the story a little bit more. Yeah. But we're running out of time. We've only got 10 minutes left. I want to make sure that we talk about you. I'm sure most of our audience know you and know.
I sincerely doubt that. I sincerely doubt that.
He's so self-deprecating. But for those that don't, please tell them like what you're up to, what you've got out. Let them know.
Yeah, I rap occasionally. I make music. I do have some records.
Some say he's the fastest rapper in the world.
Yeah, I do have that reputation, which is good because it's true.
Can't forget that.
Yeah, and basically lately I've just been kind of focused on my Jesus, man, look at my right when I'm doing a plug, my camera goes totally blurry. This is my career. If there was an example, this is my career. Okay,
his camera got like a glossy, like
I can talk about everybody else's work all day. It's sharp, hyper tack focus. The minute I want to talk about me, we're blurry. Anyways, I got some records out. Go check me out. Tonedeff, TONEDEFF. If you're in a mood for some like hyper technical emo rap with like a shoegaze wall of sound, then you're probably gonna dig my shit. If you want to hear some like hard boom bap beats with a dude talking about his dick and like how he kills everybody and sells drugs, you're probably not gonna like my shit. Also, if you buy the brand Supreme, you probably won't like my shit. If you wear Crocs, you won't like my shit. If you like Yeezys,
do not wear Crocs.
You'll hate my shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're just like a cool person that loves all kinds of music, you will probably enjoy my shit. I'm currently producing for Lucy Camp. Go check her out. She's an amazing artist. She's the future. If you want to hear,
how's she doing? I know she was in an accident a while ago.
Oh man, she's doing great, bro. She's all healed up. She's on a bike now. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
But yeah, we're just making a ton of shit, and just looking.
What kind of music? I'm sorry, what genre of music?
Oh, Lucy Camp. She's a hip hop artist.
Nice.
And so
she's pretty dope.
Yeah, she's a Mexican chick. She just turned 24, and she's just got an incredible flow and like just makes these like hyper poetic tracks and it's super dense technical rhyming. So like she's right up my alley. She's basically my bet for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll definitely be a name everybody knows in the next couple of years for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, man, just staying busy.
And where can they find you if they would like to peruse some of this amazing music you make?
You can check out lucycamp.com for all the stuff that I'm producing for Lucy, lucycamp.com, or you can check me out, tonedeff.com, tonedeff.com. No spaces.
Yeah.
Not a capital D.
no big D.
No, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. You can go check it out. Thanks. I appreciate it. Go enjoy.
Yeah, man. Yo, Tone, thanks for coming. I definitely want to have you back on the show another time. You got anything else for him before we get out?
No, listen, man. I've known this man for a long time. He definitely underplaying his talent. He's
Super.
definitely one of the most individualized MCs of our day.
Yeah. You know, years ago when I first met him, I was like, oh, I gotta have him in my crew. So you know, I know this guy's my bro.
We definitely appreciate you, bro.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, y'all.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming. We'll see you later, Tone.
All right, so boom.
Boom.
Peace.